Diepolder 3 caves are world famous among underwater divers, and they are located in Florida, USA. One day, a 51-year-old diver named Keith Hendricks came to explore Diepolder 3 cave with his neighbor and friend, Mike Williams. Both were very experienced divers, especially Keith, who had over 18 years of diving experience. They decided to explore the Diepolder cave up to the 147-foot checkpoint. They were fully prepared with their diving gear and ready to jump into the cave. But there's a little backstory to this tragic dive. Although Keith had 18 years of experience, due to some health issues, he hadn't been diving for the past 6 years. One day, while at Mike's house, Keith expressed his desire to go on a cave exploration dive again and asked Mike to join him. They both agreed to go to Diepolder 3 cave. When Keith started preparing for the dive, he realized that his 6-year-old diving suit was in poor condition and the fit wasn't right anymore, since he had gained weight over the years. He didn't have enough time to buy a new suit, so he decided to make do with the old one. He chose not to tell Mike about the issue. The day of the dive arrived and they both began their underwater journey. During their descent, Mike noticed that Keith was struggling with controlling his diving suit. Mike asked if he needed help, but Keith signaled that he was fine. However, before they reached their planned depth of 147 feet, Mike realized their oxygen supply was running low. He signaled Keith to begin the ascent so they could safely return to the surface. Keith agreed, and they started ascending. Mike was leading the way, with Keith following behind. But when Mike reached the surface, he realized Keith was no longer with him. He immediately dove back down to search for his friend. At around 60 feet deep, he found Keith, floating upside down. Keith's dry suit legs were overinflated, which caused him to stay submerged due to the trapped air and improper buoyancy. Mike quickly checked Keith for a response, but there was none. As Mike was an experienced diver, he quickly inflated Keith's buoyancy compensator. This device helps divers rise to the surface more quickly by improving buoyancy. Mike then pushed Keith upward to get him out of the cave. After reaching the surface, Mike saw that Keith's condition had worsened. He was barely breathing. When Mike removed Keith's oxygen mask, a mixture of blood and saliva came from his mouth. Mike immediately alerted the authorities. Rescuers arrived quickly and took Keith to a nearby hospital. Doctors did everything they could, but after a few hours, Keith was declared deceased. An autopsy later revealed extensive lung barotrauma, significant damage to the lungs caused by pressure changes during the dive. The faulty diving suit and the extreme pressure at 147 feet were identified as the main causes of Keith's death.